bring this mic over. Because when in doubt, you have this one. Well, I think looks like I'm okay right here. I think we're just having a little bit of the face mic issues. Yeah, so we'll use this. Should I just take this off for now? I'm going to take it off. Ooh, peel my face off while I'm at it. There we go. Thank you so much, Jake. Okay, can you hear me now? There's that. There's. Hold on. All righty. I think this will be a perfect moment because the countryman is what we want. There we go. Are we good? There we go. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So I'll say again, make sure you have an instrument. I mean, we all have our own instruments, our hands and our feet and our mouths and all that. But I particularly picked a few songs tonight that are percussion and rhythmic based. Some we've done, some we have not. But it's Musical Shabbat, and we're excited to have Brad Lieberman here with us again on Tickling the Ivories for us. We will miss Larry Cohen, who's not with us tonight, but he is here, but he's just not here. Let's just have some fun. So we're going to start on page 638 with Dror Yikra, which we've never done, at least with me here. And let's once you open up to page 638, let's all read together in the middle of the page, and we'll open up and bring in Shabbat that way. May God proclaim freedom for all sons and daughters and keep you as the apple of God's eye. Pleasant is your name. It will not be destroyed. Repose, relax on Shabbat. Revisit my holy temple and give me a sign of deliverance. Plant a vine in my vineyard. Look to my people. Hear their laments. And this is how it's going to go. You are highly encouraged to have me not drop a pick on the floor. Highly encouraged. Again, the drums sitting here are not just decoration. Feel free to come and take one and use it. Sing, clap, use your instruments, stomp your feet, whatever makes you happy. See, Dan, I can always rely. Dan's going to take a drum.
Should I sit up here? Or?
You can do whatever makes you happy. You can do whatever works for you. Here we go. You're good. Dero yikera levenim bat ve'in sorchem kemo vava. One more time. Dero yikera levenim bat ve'in sorchem kemo vava. Naim tzimchem velo yushavat shevu venuchu keom Shabbat shevu venuchu beyom Shabbat. One more time. Dero yikera excuse me. Leven babat ve'in sorchem kemo vavat. We've done this song before. Frequently, I do it with the kids with around Hanukkah. We talk about the story of Hanukkah, where we talk about it's not the strength or the weapons or the troops that let the Jews maintain control of the temple and all during the Hanukkah story, but it was their might and their power and their spirit. So this song, if you don't have a drum or a shaker, you have hands. And I miss when I count. That's for you to clap or shake your instrument. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Clap your hands or shake your things there. Here we go. We sing not by might. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. I want to take a minute and teach you a couple things. Ruach, the word ruach. Anybody know the meaning of ruach? Ruach. Spirit, exactly. So we have ruach, so when we get, but by spirit alone, when we have the kids with us, but we can be children at heart, right? Yes, we can. We can yell ruach. So if I say, but by spirit alone, ruach. So that's a good one. And here we go. We'll try it one more time. Here we go. From not by might. Here we go. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone, ruach, shall we all live in peace. One more time. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone, ruach, shall we all live in peace. Now clap your hands or shake your instruments. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do the children sing is the next words. The children sing, and then we all can say la 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 la. Sounds pretty that way. The children dream, and we can all though their tears may fall, you can hear them call, and another song will rise. Another song will rise. Another song will rise. And we do not by might last time. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by might and not by power, not by power. And we end it with a very pretty shalom. Shalom. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to July, what is today, the 21st? 21st. July 21st, 2023. I would call that kind of midsummer. Midsummer? I mean, by calendar at least, midsummer. Time flies, it's crazy. It's been a hot week. It's been a stressful week. I hope that we can take time today for the next period of time to just enjoy the air conditioning. Should be nice and cool in here. And also just enjoy some music and prayer and moments to reflect. And we have a special little ditty at the end that Brad and I were working on, which will sort of wrap up our Shabbat service. It'll make it nice and special. And I think that everybody here will appreciate it. As I look around, I think everybody will. So let's move on in our service. I would like right now to call up Emily Bergman to light the candles for Shabbat.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words that we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Emily. And as we do in true Temple Sinai of Glendale fashion, at this moment we all rise and join one another for our Shabbat family blessing. I want to address one thing. I see some people who are alone in the pews. If you're comfortable, come together, or somebody go throw an arm around them or be together. Nobody should be alone. May God bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and grace you. May he lift his presence unto you and grant you peace. May God bless you and keep you. May she shine her face upon you and grace you. May she lift her presence unto you and grant you peace. And grant you peace. Shabbat Shalom once again. We're going to turn to page 128. I am too. And we've actually done this melody several times. The Lachadodi from Kol HaNeshama, the synagogue in Israel. But we're going to do it with as much percussion as possible. And I'm going to attempt to use a drum. I am not a drummer by any sense of the imagination. But we'll see how good I am as a cold drummer. How's that? Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor bezachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shemul tiferet ve'litchila Everybody Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor habracha Merosh mikedem besukkah Sof ma'aseh b'mashchavat tefillah Everybody Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Let's all please rise and face the door. Boi v'shalom ateret balam Gam besimcha uv'tzolam Toch emunei am segulam Boi kala Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela We can all stay standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach. Before you get too comfortable, let's all read together in the middle of page 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet further than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Let's all join together for Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Let's all join together chanting Ve'ahavta, which you can find on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Let's all join in the middle of page 158. Maybe we could find two readers that might want to read that reading in the middle of 158. Volunteers? Anyone? Anyone? Maggie, go for it. You'll do the first?
Thanks. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders?
Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel.
Baruch
atah Adonai,
Ga'al
Eloheinu,
Yisrael.
Israel.
We're going to do the melody that we've been doing during our musical Shabbats that starts off with the words, who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? This is where you're bringing your percussion instruments. Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osei pele, norat tehilot osei pele. Let's end it the way we started it with who is like you, everybody. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Let's all rise, please, and join in Tefillah, the central prayer of our service, on page 164. Adonai sebatai tita ufi agitehi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, mechalkel chaim v'chesed, mechaye hakol v'rachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofeh holim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech meimid umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yehallelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Let's read together in the middle, page 171. 171, sorry. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you. Please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Let's take a few moments for our own silent prayer. Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim Chen v'chesed v'rachamim Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha. So when thinking about a conversation, a sermon, a teaching, a something for tonight, I did something I've never done before. I went to AI. Well, the other half of my life's industry is struggling with AI right now, big time. I was just kind of curious. I just wanted to see what would AI tell me based on what I was going to ask it. So I said, AI, tell me about, write me a friendly teaching about Judaism and music. And it went on some bizarre, weird tangent. It wasn't one of those where you go, holy smokes, it's what I was thinking. Definitely was not what I was thinking. But that was the levity of the moment. I was like, nope, I'm better than AI. Put that down. Because AI doesn't have life experience. Maybe it'd like to, but who knows. I'm just curious from the people sitting here in this room, and for those of you who aren't streaming Shabbat Shalom, feel free to raise your hands virtually. Who ever went to a Jewish summer camp? Okay. And how about a religious school? Had a religious school upbringing? A few more, okay. And Well, okay, so that's the next question. So of those of you, first I'm gonna separate for a second. For those of you who went to Jewish summer camps or religious school, does music tie you to those experiences? Are there certain songs that take you back to those experiences? So I would say those of you whose faces I see here, or most faces that I'm very familiar with here in this room, I would hope at least, that there are melodies that remind you of sitting here. Where you can specifically, whether it was just an everyday Shabbat service, not every day, but every week Shabbat service, or a bar bat mitzvah, or the high holidays, or whatever. But I find the connection of music and Judaism, or music and religion, fascinating. I find I grew up. My father's very dear friend was the head of one of the biggest Baptist churches here in Los Angeles. We used to go to the Forum. So this church owned the Forum. And I was a little kid at the time. They were like bass guitars and electric, and synthesizers. And I was like, this is religious? I really was completely blown away by it. Until I was in my 20s and they did Friday Night Live at Temple Sinai, or Sinai Temple on the west side. And I went, holy smokes, we can do it everywhere. So Tina, I'm thinking about what you said, is if you didn't go to a Jewish summer camp and you went to a regular just completely, non-religious American summer camp, let's say, do you have memories of music from that? Does it play as big of a role? Band. Oh, you went to camp. Band camp. So I say that that music. I mean, to me, obviously, music feeds my soul. That's just who I am. I come from a family of it, but I sometimes say to myself, "What am I doing standing right here? What's my job?" And I look at it through the eyes of the children. I look at it through the eyes of our elders. And I say every single one of them should walk out the door either humming a tune or with one that got sunk in a little further, that you find yourself, 10 tapping your foot in the car, whatever it is, because music makes memories. And memories, I always, my parents, or my father in particular, brought me up with, there are very few things in life you can give your children that last like memories. Memories last a lifetime. So for me, I'm gonna share a memory with you, and I hope you can share it with me. So everybody close your eyes for a second. And you don't have to share exactly what I'm saying. I'm just gonna set the scene for you. I grew up, as I've told you many times, at Camp Swig, in the middle of a redwood forest. And there was an area called the Redwood Grove. And the inside of it couldn't have been more than maybe a 12-foot by 12-foot space. And the floor, of course, was covered with pine needles and all those lovely things that get stuck in your clothes and your hair, and then you smell later. But you look up in the sky and you see hundreds of years old redwood trees. And the best time to do this was on Shabbat, when I was a staff member, and I didn't have to be with my campers at the time. But you could hear Shabbat starting. You could hear the guitars tuning. You could hear even the wonderful sound of the screeching tables being set across the dining hall. But one of the traditions was that all of the song leaders with their guitars would start at the kibbutz, which was a Timbuktu hike away from the center of camp. And every once in a while, when I wasn't a counselor at the time, you'd find me sitting there in the middle of the Redwood Grove. And all I can hear is, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. To me, that gives me chills. Besides a beautiful melody, it's the memory of camp, it's tying Shabbat to music, and it's what I want everybody to have that special moment. And I hope that many of you over the last year plus have shared with me, in fact, actually, and I'm not like pointing out, but I'm actually going to say, because I heard it, Philip, at one point you said to me early on, you said, I love what you're singing. I wish you did more. So I would do a song, and I would do kind of an abbreviated version. So ever since, we add a verse. And for me, that was very impactful, because that meant that music was getting to you, and you wanted more. So on Musical Shabbat, it seems apropos to do that. So we're going to, let's move on to Misha Berach. We have anybody who is thinking of someone who's in need of healing, whether it's of body, mind, of spirit. I will, as always, sing the first verse and then pass my arm around to please share names. And join with me, we're on page 371. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. popular. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. As we get ready for our concluding prayers, I'd like to call up Loretta and Brad to open the ark for us for Aleinu. And can everybody please rise? We are on page 586. Don't go far. Other side. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Please be seated. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. At this time, we'll take a moment to, you can look in your Shabbat leaflets so that we can remember those who are on our Kaddish list. Susanna Picinato Mulet, Gerd Lester, Bernard Laisman, Don Walschlager, Ted Baker, Leonard Wise, Al Rubin, Peter Siragusa, Lenore Horowitz, Leonard Sabbath, Eve Francine Marcus, Ilsa Jamin, Arlene Hammer, Dorothy Brumer, and for those who are observing Yortzeit, Richard Sears, Martha Simon, Lynn Wenzel, Richard Abraham, Carol Friedenthal, Paula Weider, Ed Ross, Deanna Muzkies, Leah Weinberg, Ronald Simon. If there is anyone else who is here morning and would like to share their name, please raise your hand and stand and share their name. Let's all please rise and say Kaddish as a community for all of those names, as well as for all of those who do not have someone to say Kaddish for them. We're on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all and to all Israel. And together we say, Amen. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to call up Philip Hain to share some wonderful announcements about upcoming wonderful things here.
Thank you. Thank you, Cantor. Speaking of wonderful, thank you for a wonderful musical Shabbat service. It really was quite enjoyable and inspiring. Please note that next week's service will be over Zoom again at 6:30 p.m. I hope you will all be able to join Rabbi Rick and Cantor Allison and the whole community on Friday, August 4th for a family-friendly outdoor Shabbat up at La Cañada Memorial Park. Please invite all of your friends from the foothill communities for this special service. Grab a picnic dinner and lawn chairs or director's chairs or beach chairs or whatever. Come for the fun, and if you have extra chairs, we would appreciate bringing them. You'll find details about this event and others in your Sunday e-blast. Tonight's flowers are presented by Lorna, Mike, Leah, and Danielle Simon for the yard site of Mike's father, Alexandria Levitt and Rami Muskis for the yard site of Rami's sister, Maggie and Jan Fried for the yard site of Maggie's grandmother. At the conclusion of the service, you are invited to join in the oneg hosted by Sisterhood. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Philip. So, nothing happened. I think we're just going to do that. That'll be better. So, as apropos as a musical service, albeit not necessarily a Jewish side of things, but today our country, our world, lost a legend. Tony Bennett, as you may know, passed this morning at 96 years old. And he's the hallmark of much of American music and sound, and the crooners, the jazz, the everything. So our closing song, well, we're going to have some fun with it. Join me, but there's going to be a little twist as we go. I imagine everybody knows this song, so I encourage you not to have me have to sing it all by myself. I'm trying to fix the microphone. There we go. There we go. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Now do this with me. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra v'hu haya ve'ein sheni lecham shilo le'avira beli reshit beli tachlit beli reshit beli tachlit. So it is a song leader, cantor, cantorial soloist joke that you can do Adon Olam to any song in the universe. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, are we going to actually hang tight for a second? Because yes, I've had a ongoing request to do the extended Shabbat Kiddush. So please join me, and when we head back, there will be glasses of juice, wine, whatever you fancy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. Nice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat Shalom.